Linking God's big story with behaviour and children's well-being. A big part of embedding the Christian ethos of the school is through making it part of everyday school life. Something that can help us to do this when we're working with very young children all the way through to year 6 is through using our God's Big Story framework. God's Big Story is an easy to follow framework which is the story of the Bible from beginning to end. One thing that sets it apart from other things that might be used to embed the Christian ethos is its accessibility to the very young. The 6 pictures in God's Big Story are really easy to explain and understand for all ages. Therefore, right from the beginning of primary school in reception, children can start to understand the core message of the Bible from the beginning to the end. Once children have been introduced to God's big story, they can use it in everyday school life to aid the expression of the Christian ethos of the school. So using God's big story in school, in the behaviour system, and also to enhance children's well-being. A big part of embedding the Christian ethos of the school can be done in the language that's spoken by those that are working with the children every day. And what I'm sort of referring to is using God's big story language. An easy way to engage both adults and children in speaking the language of God's big story can be done by using the 6 pictures alongside normal things that we would talk about. So we're just going to have a little look at how you can use each picture when you are coming into contact with the children through different things that might happen in their school day. So love. Love is shown in expression of love or kindness or gratitude. You could call this our kindness card if you feel it's more appropriate to use that than to say our love card. Okay, so an example of some phrases that you might want to say to the children are things like, well done, John, you've shown love or you've shown kindness today by being kind to your friends. Or you've done a great job of showing kindness today, Sarah, because you've been patient. Or good job, class, this lesson has been nice and calm. You have all shown kindness and respect. Okay, so then our broken love and our Jesus card, and these work together because when we are in a place where love has been broken, all children and all people need to have the opportunity to reflect on that so that they can come to a place where they've dealt with the broken love and they are ready to show love again, and that the broken love can be gone as something has been forgiven. Okay, so it's a new start. Broken love is when we've made unkind choices. Something has gone wrong and we might need to take some time out to reflect, and when we are ready we can give an apology. When people do broken love things, it can make us sad and hurt our feelings. We might need to take some time to reflect, and when we feel ready to let go of what has happened, we can forgive them and we are ready to show kindness and to be in this place again and start afresh. Okay, so example phrases. Sam, you've made an unkind choice today and you've shown broken love. It would be good to spend some time thinking about what has happened, and when your heart is sorry, you can give an apology. It's a good time here to remind the children that it can take time to feel sorry, and that actually, whilst we're still feeling the broken love feelings, that actually it's not always easy for us to feel sorry. And the way that we know that we're ready to feel sorry is when our heart feels sorry. And so I've worked with children in the past that say if their heart is still angry, then their heart is red. And when their heart feels sorry and they're ready to apologise, their heart has turned to a pink colour again. So again, you can use lots of different things to help the children to understand what it is that you are trying to relate their feeling or their behaviour to the different parts of God's big story. So bringing the heart back in when someone has made an apology and after a time of reflection is a really good way of showing the children that we're back in this place and we're not staying in this place. Okay, so our next card is the world card. So amazing things in the world. This is when somebody may show an act of kindness. They may have gone out of their way to do something for others. So yes, it's showing love and kindness, but it's actually going the extra mile. Okay, so for instance, Claire, I hear that you did a sponsored run at the weekend to raise money for the Children's Hospital. Wow, you've done an amazing thing in the world. Well done. Okay, so that can be all sorts of things. It doesn't have to be quite as amazing as that. It could be, you could say, Chloe, I noticed that you picked up Joe's coat from the playground and you gave it back to him. That was really kind that you thought of Joe in that time, in that moment. You've done an amazing thing today. Or maybe you've got a child that you know struggles to do things for other people, and actually this is something that they can aspire to be doing every day, or you know, as a target and a challenge. Is, I wonder what amazing things you might do in the world today, Max. Okay, then we have our Holy Spirit and our promise card. Now we group these together and call them our worry pictures. We all feel worried sometimes. It's always good to share our worries. God's supernatural power, the Holy Spirit, is here to help us. It's the thing that makes miracles happen. God also promises us that He will look after us and be with us, and He will help us with everything that we face. Our friends and our trusted adults are here to help too. It's good to talk and share and ask God or others for help. Okay. So an example of a conversation you might have with a child. Johnny, are you okay? Remember, you can always talk to someone if you're worried about something. I can help you by speaking to your parents or your teachers with you. And if you would like to, you could have a talk to God to help you too. Remember, the Holy Spirit and God's promise are always here to help you. Okay. These cards might be something that you want to start introducing your children to, where they could show you these pictures, or they could point to these pictures, especially in the very young, if they actually want to spend some time talking over something with you. It'd be really good to familiarise the children with the use of these cards, so that when they see them, either in the classroom or around your lanyard, hanging on from your lanyards, that they might even be able to just touch those cards as a signal to you that they want to spend some time talking to you and sharing with you. And of course, although as a Christian school and as Christians, people may want to be encouraged to talk to God and to Jesus about these things, it's also so important that children are encouraged to share with their trusted adults if they have a worry or a concern, because worries and concerns obviously need to be dealt with, and children need to have adults as their voice piece. Okay. When we start to use God's big story with our behaviour policy, the language of God's big story starts to become intertwined into every part of the school day. The more the language is spoken, the more that the Christian values of the school are embedded. God's big story can be used by all faiths and none as a good moral ground on which we should all be building upon.